How's everyone today? Let's see what we have here. I'm trying to find again. There you go. I'll put the map back up. Okay, where are we at here? Let's find it again. Okay, so everyone, go. We finally made it. We made it to book 3. We made it to book 3. We're on chapter 1, the Return of the King, of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and by JRR Tolkien. And so, hey, we're there, people. We're there. We're there. We're on where what? Because we already know what happens. Who our players are, the background and what the plan is, but what happened. The plan went awry, right? That was what happened was what they were trying to decide. What are we gonna do? What is it gonna happen? You know, and I think it was mentioned before on another posting that yeah, it's an article whether they were going to decide what was going to happen. You know, alternate plans is what it was. Alternate plans that were being discussed, right? Alternate plans. Who was going to do what when something happened to someone? What was going to happen when if someone, yeah, if Frodo bit the dust or something? I don't know. Yeah, it took a dirt nap, whatever. I don't know whatever. If something happened to Frodo, who would take you know the responsibility of taking the ring to Mordor, to the Dark Tower, to defeat Sauron? Okay, so we got a lot going on here. We got a lot going on here, and then and as a side note, I don't know if anyone has been watching the little clips from Middle Earth, and I suggest that you subscribe to Middle Earth. There's like a little reels or whatever about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, little snippets about the film. Very interesting facts, and I've been noticing a lot of then and now videos of the cast. So, there has been a lot of controversy about, I know, about Harry Potter's storyline and how Rowling wants to go over there, and so it's a racial controversy about was it Spade or whatever. Snide or what? Well, you know who I'm talking about. But I'm trying not to sneeze. But anyway, so I think some of the I guess from Dan Woon's his program, his from his YouTube programs, you might want to catch up with that kind of news, because that's celeb news, and you may want to catch up with that. I don't want to go too much further and take up a lot of time on that. That's a lot to cover, and that's an hour and something or whatever, and I can't do that. So I want to get on with this the story. But anyway, yeah, so that's the same controversy with who is going to come back to the film, who's going to do what are we going to do with the characters? I mean, is there a possibility that people could convince the director, Lord of the Rings, to go over there and say, can you just go ahead and do the trilogy for the Silmarillion? We'll go ahead and we'll as a fan base, go over there and start this somehow through the film Kickstarter uh, uh, program and go and said, look, we want this, we're going to have it, because he went in and he filmed it back to back, and he was ongoing, on filming, and the actors dedicated so much time, and yet the big joke was like, oh well, we didn't get paid, but they wanted to be in the story for sure, because now it's going like, well, what are we doing now? A lot of people are still, fan worshiping the Lord of the Rings. So they've already done what the Hobbit. So, but we want the Silmarillion. Silmarillion should be broken up in three parts, right? Again, right. I don't know. Go ahead and voice your grievances to the director. That's all I got to say, because I don't know. Because I'm gonna be like this. I have to get the book, people. I have to get the book. I have to get that book, and I need the Hobbit book to read online to see what is good about this. What do we need to do about this? What do we need to do? Clamor. See, we want this. We want this. We gotta have it. We gotta have it, people. We gotta have the Silmarillion. Broken up in three parts again as a trilogy, or possibly I don't know, a two-parter. But we want live action. Yeah, excuse me. I'm just gonna. It's allergy, and I had to take a shot. But anyway, I'll be fine. I'll survive. But anyway, so as to this, we need to make sure we have this ongoing, to see, because he has done a lot of the all of these works, people. JRR Tolkien did not play. He wrote a lot of stuff. This is like going into the vault of Prince and Elvis. We don't even know what's going on, but we know this is John Lennon had done the same thing too. But a lot of these artists have done this type of thing where they just write, and they create all this wonderful stuff, and then we have not yet scratched the surface on what we need to see or hear, or feel on what we need to experience with this art that needs to be shared, and we need to have this type of stuff continue to be portrayed on screen. Otherwise, we can't be stuck with animation all the time. Animation is getting, I don't know, it's insensitive to some people. It doesn't make you feel. It doesn't make you be in touch with what the story has to give. I'm just like, well, I know I'm just talking off the chain, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just there. It's flat. I did not feel anything with the cartoon until it was was it Watership Down? And Watership Down was horrific to me. That's all I got to say. Horrific. It was horrific. So please do not. I don't know. My opinion. Let's not bother with the animation too much. Not too much. We want the live. We should ask for it. We should demand it. We should say, no, we want it. We want live action. We want to keep this up. But let's see who's in, who's out. But let's go ahead and let's get started. I am on page 413. Chapter 1, 400, page 413, book 3, The Return of the King, The Departure of Boromir by JRR Tolkien. Aragorn sped on up the hill. Every now and again he bent to the ground. Hobbits go light, and their footprints are not easy, even for a ranger to read. But not far from the top, a spring crossed the path, and in the wet earth he saw what he was seeking. I read the signs aright, he said to himself. Frodo ran to the hilltop, and I wondered what he saw there. But he returned by the same way and went down the hill again. Aragorn hesitated. He desired to go to the high seat himself, hoping to see there something that would guide him in his perplexities, but time was pressing. Suddenly, he leaped forward and ran to the summit, across the great flagstones and up the steps. Then, sitting in the high seat, he looked out. But the sun seemed darkened, and the world dim and remote. He turned from the north back again to north. He turned. That didn't make any sense. And saw nothing save the distant hills, unless it were that far away he could see again a great bird, like an eagle high in the air, descending slowly in wide circles down towards the earth. Even as he gazed, his quick ears caught sounds in the woodlands below, on the west side of the river. He stiffened. There were cries, and among them, to his horror, he could distinguish the harsh voices of orcs. Then suddenly, with a deep-throated call, a great horn blew, and the blast of it smote the hills and echoed in the hollows, rising in a mighty shout above the roaring of the falls. The horn of Boromir, he cried. He is in need. He sprang down and the steps and away, leaping down the path. Alas, an ill fate is on me this day, and all that I do goes amiss. Where is Sam? As he ran, the cries came louder, but fainter now, and desperately the horn was blowing. Fierce and shrill rose the yells of the orcs, and suddenly the horn call ceased. Aragorn raced down the last slope. But before he could reach the hill's foot, the sounds died away, and as he turned to the left and ran towards them, they retreated, until at last he could hear them no more. Drawing his bright sword and crying, Elendil! Elendil! He crashed through the trees. A mile maybe from parts Galen, in a little glade not far from the lake, he found Boromir. He was sitting with his back to a great tree, as if he was resting. But Aragorn saw that he was pierced with many black feathered arrows. His sword was in his hand, but it was broken near the hilt. His horn, cloven in two, was at his side. Many orcs lay slain, piled all about him, and at his feet Aragorn knelt beside him. Boromir opened his eyes and strove to speak. At last, slow words came. I tried to take the ring from Frodo, he said. I am sorry. I have paid. His glance strayed to his fallen enemies. 20 at least lay there. They had gone. The halflings. The orcs have taken them. I think they are not dead. Orcs bound them. He paused and his eyes closed wearily. After a moment he spoke again. Farewell, Aragorn. Go to Minas Tirith and save my people. I have failed. No, said Aragorn, taking his hand and kissing his brow. You have conquered. Few have gained such a victory. Be at peace, Minas Tirith shall not fall. Boromir smiled. Which way did they go? Was Frodo there? Said Aragorn. But Boromir did not speak again. Alas, said Aragorn, thus passes the heir of Denethor, Lord of the Tower of Guard. This is a bitter end. Now the company is all in ruin. Is it I that I have failed? Vain was Gandalf's trust in me. What shall I do now? Boromir has laid it on me to go to Minas Tirith, and my heart desires it, but where are the ring and the bear? How shall I find them and save the quest from disaster? He knelt for a while, bent with weeping, still clasping Boromir's hand. So it was that Legolas and Gimli found him. They came from the western slopes of the hill, silently, creeping through the trees as if they were hunting. Gimli had his axe in hand, and Legolas his long knife. All his arrows were spent. When they came into the glade, they halted in amazement, and then they stood a moment with heads bowed in grief, for it seemed to them plain what had happened. Alas, said Legolas, coming to Aragorn's side, we have hunted and slain many orcs in the woods, but we should have been of more use here. We came when we heard the horn, but too late, it seems. I fear you have taken deadly hurt. Boromir is dead, said Aragorn. I am unscathed, for I was not here with him. He fell defending the hobbits, while I was away upon the hill. The hobbits, cried Gimli. Where are they then? Where is Frodo? I do not know, answered Aragorn wearily. Before he died, Boromir told me that the orcs had bound them. He did not think that they were dead. I sent him to follow Merry and Pippin, but I did not ask him if Frodo or Sam were with him, not until it was too late. All that I have done today has gone amiss. What is to be done now? First, we must tend the fallen, said Legolas. We cannot leave him lying like carrion among these foul orcs. But we must be swift, said Gimli. We would not wish us to linger. We must follow the orcs if there is hope that any of our company are living prisoners. But we do not know whether the ring bearer is with them or not, said Aragorn. Are we to abandon him? Must we not seek him first? An evil choice is now before us. Then let us do first what we must do, said Legolas. We have not the time or the tools to bury our comrade fitly or to raise a mound over him. A cairn we might build. The labor would be hard and long. There are no stones that we could use nearer than the water's side, said Gimli. Then let us lay him in a boat with his weapons, and the weapons of his vanquished foes, said Aragorn. We will send him to the falls of Rhoros and give him to Anduin. The river of Gondor will take care, at least, that no evil creature dishonors his bones. Quickly they searched the bodies of the orcs, gathering their swords and cloven helms and shields into a heap. See, cried Aragorn, here we find tokens. He picked out from the pile of grim weapons 2 knives, leaf-bladed, damasked in gold and red. And searching further, he found also the sheaths, black, set with small red gems. No orc tools these, he said. They were borne by the hobbits. Doubtless the orcs despoiled them, but feared to keep the knives, knowing them for what they are, work of Westernese, wound about with spells for the bane of Mordor. Well, now if they still live, our friends are weaponless. I will take these things, hoping against hope to give them back. And I, said Legolas, will take all the arrows that I can find, for my quiver is empty. He searched in the pile and on the ground about and found not a few, but that were undamaged and longer in the shaft than such arrows as the orcs were accustomed to use. He looked at them closely, and Aragorn looked on the slain, and he said, here lie many that are not folk of Mordor. Some are from the north, from the misty mountains. If I know anything of orcs and their kinds, and here are others strange to me. Their gear is not after the manner of orcs at all. There were 4 goblin soldiers of greater stature, swart, slant-eyed, with thick legs and large hands. They were armed with short, broad-bladed swords, not with the curved scimitars usual with orcs, and they had bows of yew in length and shape like the bows of men. Upon their shields they bore a strange device, a small white hand in the center of a black field on the front of their iron helms was set an S rune wrought of some white metal. I have not seen these tokens before, said Aragorn. What do they mean? S is for Sauron, said Gimli. That is easy to read. Nay, said Legolas. Sauron does not use the elf runes, neither does he use the right name, nor permit it to be spelt or spoken, said Aragorn. And he does not use white. The orcs in the service of Barad-dûr use the sign of the red eye. He stood for a moment and thought. S is for Saruman, I guess, he said at length. There is evil afoot in Isengard, and the West is no longer safe. It is as Gandalf feared. By some means, the traitor Saruman has had news of our journey. It is likely, too, that he knows of Gandalf's fall. Pursuers from Moria may have escaped the vigilance of Lorien, or they may have avoided that land and come to Isengard by other paths. Orcs travel fast, but Saruman has many ways of learning news. Do you remember the birds? Well, we have no time to ponder riddles, said Gimli. Let us bear Boromir away. But after that, we must guess the riddles, if we are to choose our course rightly, answered Aragorn. Maybe there is no right choice, said Gimli. Taking his axe, the dwarf now cut several branches. These they lashed together with bowstrings and spread their cloaks upon the fray. Upon this rough bier, they carried the body of their companion to the shore, together with such trophies of his last battle as they chose to send forth with him. It was only a short way, yet they found it no easy task, for Boromir was a man both tall and strong. At the waterside, Aragorn remained, watching the bear, while Legolas and Gimli hastened back on foot to Parth Galen. It was a mile or more, and it was some time before they came back, paddling two boats swiftly along the shore. There is a strange tale to tell, said Legolas. There are only two boats upon the bank. We could find no trace of the other. Had orcs been near? Asked Aragorn. We saw no signs of them, asked Gimli, and orcs would have taken or destroyed all the boats, and the baggage as well. I will look at the ground when we come there, said Aragorn. Now they laid Boromir in the middle of the boat that was to bear him away. The gray hood and elven cloak they folded and placed beneath his head. They combed his long dark hair and arrayed it upon his shoulders. The golden belt of Lorien gleamed about his waist. His helm they set beside him, and across his lap they laid the cloven horn and hilt up and shards of his sword. Beneath his feet they put the swords of his enemies. then fastened the prow to the stern of the other boat. They drew him out into the water. They rowed sadly along the shore, and turning into the swift running channel, they passed the, the green sward of Parth Galen. The steep sides of Tol Brandir were growing. It was now mid-afternoon, and they went south. The few auroras rose and shimmered before them, a haze of gold. The rush and thunder of the falls shook the windless air. Sorrowfully, they cast loose the funeral boat. There, Boromir lay, restful, peaceful, gliding upon the bosom of the flowing water. The stream took him while they held their own boat back with their paddles. He floated by them, and slowly his boat departed, waning to a dark spot against the golden light. And then suddenly it vanished. Roros roared on unchanging. The river had taken Boromir, son of Denethor, and he was not seen again in Minas Tirith, standing as he used to stand upon the white tower in the morning. But in Gondor, in after days, it long was said that the elven boat rode the falls and the foaming pool, and bore him down through Osgiliath, and past the many mouths of Anduin, out into the great sea at night under the stars. For a while, the three companions remained silent, gazing after him. Then Aragorn spoke. They will look for him from the White Tower, he said, but he will not return from mountain or from sea. And then slowly he began to sing. To roll on over fen and field where the long grass grows. The west wind comes walking, and about the walls it goes. What news from the west, O wandering wind, do you bring to me tonight? Have you seen Boromir, the tall by moon or by starlight? I saw him ride over 7 streams, over waters wide and gray. I saw him walk in empty lands until he passed away. Into the shadows of the north, I saw him then no more. The north wind may have heard the horn of the son of Denethor. O Boromir, from the high walls westward I looked afar, but you came not from the empty lands where no men are. Then Legolas sang, from the mouths of the sea the south wind flies, from the sand hills and the stones, the wailing of the gulls it bears, and the gate it moans. What news from the south, O sighing wind, do you bring to me at eve? Where now is Boromir the fair? He tarries, and I grieve. Ask not of me where he doth dwell. So many bones there lie on the white shores and the dark shores under the stormy sky. So many have passed down on the wind to find the flowing sea. Ask of the north wind news of them, and the north wind sends to me. O Boromir, beyond the gate, the seaward road runs south. But you came not with the wailing gulls from the grey sea's mouth. Then Aragorn sang again. From the gate of kings the north wind rise, and past the roaring falls, and clear and cold about the tower its loud horn calls. What news from the north, O mighty wind, do you bring me today? What news of Boromir the bold, for he is long away? Beneath Amon Hen I heard his cry. There many foes he fought. His cloven shield, his broken sword, they to the water brought. His head so proud, his face so fair, his limbs they lay to rest. And Roros, golden Roros falls, bore him upon its breast. O Boromir, the tower of guard, shall ever northward gaze. To Roros, golden Roros falls until the end of days. So they ended. Then they turned their boat and drove it with all the speed they could against the stream back to Parth Galen. You left the east wind to me, said Gimli, but I will say naught of it. That is as it should be, said Aragorn. In Minas Tirith they endure the east wind, but they do not ask it for tidings. But now Boromir has taken his road, and we must make haste to choose our own. He surveyed the green lawn quickly but thoroughly, stooping often to the earth. No orcs have been on this ground, he said, otherwise nothing can be made out for certain. All our footprints are here, crossing and recrossing. I cannot tell whether any of the hobbits have come back since the search for Frodo began. He returned to the bank, close to where the reel from the spring sprinkled into the river. There are some clear prints here, he said. A hobbit waded out into the water and back, but I cannot say how long ago. How then do you read this riddle? Asked Gimli. Aragorn did not answer at once, but went back to the camping place and looked at the baggage. 2 packs are missing, he said, and one certainly seems, and it was rather large and heavy. And then this then is the answer. Frodo has gone by boat, and his servant has gone with him. Frodo must have returned while we were all away. I met Sam going up the hill and told him to follow me, but plainly he did not do so. He gasped his master's mind and came back here before Frodo had gone. He did not find it easy to leave Sam behind. But why should he leave us behind and without a word, said Gimli. But that was a strange deed and a brave deed, said Aragorn. Sam was right, I think. Frodo did not wish to lead any friend to death with him in Mordor, but he knew that he must go himself. Something happened after he left us that overcame his fear and doubt. Maybe hunting orcs came upon him and fled, said Legolas. He fled certainly, said Aragorn, but not, I think, from orcs. What he thought was the cause of Frodo's sudden resolve in flight, Aragorn did not say. His last words of Boromir he long kept secret. Well, so much at least is now clear, said Legolas. Frodo is no longer on the side of the river. Only he can have taken the boat, and Sam is with him. Only he could have taken his pack. Our choice, then, said Gimli, is either to take the remaining boat and follow Frodo, or else to follow the orcs on foot. There is little hope either way. We have already lost precious hours. Let me think, said Aragorn. And now may I make a right choice and change the ill fate of this unhappy day. He stood silent for a moment. I will follow the orcs, he said at last. I would have guided Frodo to Mordor and gone with him to the end. But if I seek him now in the wilderness, I must abandon the captives to torment and death. My heart speaks clearly at last. The fate of the bear is in my hands. No longer. The company has played its part. Yet we that remain cannot forsake our companions while we have strength left. Come, we will go now. Leave all that can be spared behind. We will press on by day and dark. They drew up the last boat and carried it to the trees. They laid beneath it such of their goods as they did not need and could not carry away. Then they left Parth Galen. The afternoon was fading as they came back to the glade where Boromir has fallen. There they picked up the trail of the orcs. It needed little skill to find. Oh, I can't find it. No other folk make such a trampling, said Legolas. It seems their delight to slash and beat down growing things that are not even in their way. But they go with a great speed for all that, said Aragorn, and they do not tire. And later, we may have to search for our path in hard, bare lands. Well, after them, said Gimli, dwarfs too can go swiftly, and they do not tire sooner than orcs. But it will be a long chase. They have a long start. Yes, said Aragorn. We shall all need the endurance of dwarfs. But come with hope or without hope. We will follow the trail of our enemies. And woe to them if we prove the swifter. We will make such a chase as shall be accounted a marvel among the three kindreds, elves, dwarves, and men. Forth the three hunters. Like a deer, he sprang away. Through the trees he sped, on and on. He led them, tireless and swift, now that his mind was at last made up. The woods about the lake they left behind. Long slopes they climbed, dark, hard-edged against the sky, already red with sunset. Dusk came, they passed away, gray shadows in a stony land. Okay, everyone, that was chapter 1 of book 3 of the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King by JRR Tolkien. Boy, this is getting really... Well, it's about to heat up, I'm going to tell you. Oh, excuse me. The next chapter is going to be a 2-part read because, which is chapter 2, The Riders of Rohan. So I know there's plenty to talk about, and also I'm going to have to look at where our heroes are at right now on the map. If you have the map in front of you, maybe you can picture Gandalf PS's on and see if you can discuss and find where they are at now and where they're heading towards. We know, we have an idea they're going down the Anduin, the Great River, and they're heading towards where? So I believe that to everyone to discuss, and because Minas Tirith on this map that you're looking at right now is on the bottom where you see it is near card address. If you can see it, it's in the bottom corner on your right as you're looking at it. So we're going to find out where they're going to be going next, and but they may end up having to go through somewhere else because they may have went to what the sort of good beer in the fall. Yeah, they were at the Falls of Rauros right there. That's where that water pool is over there. Before Nindolf, Wimwang. And you see it. If you see it now, you look at it, you know where I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go. And they're heading really surely towards towards Mordor for sure. But I don't know. We're going to find out. I don't know. At least I'm going to find out if this is cohesive with the movie. But I know so far because it's like there are barrels in the movie, but there are boats in the book. But that's different. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Okay. Tara Ara. Okay, stay safe, take care. Okay, Shalom. Goodbye.